Jalen Rose, in my opinion, the most surprising result so far early on in the playoffs have been the Pelicans going up 2-0 on the Blazers.
Look at the Pelicans fly!
On the road.
Look at the Pelicans fly!
The Pelicans are flying, and Anthony Davis is the fuel flying them through Portland and the Trailblazers defense, as you see right there. Jrue Holiday was great. Rondo was great. How have the Pelicans been so successful against these Blazers in Game 1 and Game 2?
So a lot of times people say, if there's a series, I'm usually going to pick the team that has the best player. And then you look at the Bucks and the Celtics series and you say, well, the Greek Freak is the best player. I'm going to pick Milwaukee. Well, I picked Boston in that series. In this series, the best player, Anthony Davis, who's playing at an MVP level, is actually getting quality help. Let's start at the point spot. Rajon Rondo has played an amazing floor game. He's made an open three-point shot late. He was open for a reason. He continues to rebound the basketball really well for his position. And more importantly, he continues to play make. Lobs for Anthony Davis, taking Jrue Holiday off the ball, allowing Jrue Holiday, who's been the immediate key to me, to flourish. A guy that's not only getting you buckets, getting you dunks, making threes, but doing one of the more important things that not many people can do. That's lock up Dame Lillard, who's basically not been able to make a field goal when being guarded by Jrue Holiday. So when you have that level of backcourt play and you have an anchor like Anthony Davis, these are their strengths, which happen to be the same ones that are effective against the strengths of the Portland Trailblazers. Their backcourt, Lillard, McCollum. They're big down low, Nurkic. So unfortunately for the Blazers, the strengths of the New Orleans Pelicans mirror those of the Portland Trailblazers, Lillard, McCollum, and Nurkic. The problem for the Blazers, however, they've been more dominant at those spots, which is why they hold a commanding 2-0 lead in this series.
You mentioned Lillard. Lillard had 7 turnovers last night, and in the series, he's 13 for 41. What exactly, from an X's and O's standpoint, are the Pelicans doing to limit Lillard?
So one of the stats that gets overlooked in basketball, and I pay attention to analytics, it's a tool, it's not the toolbox, is how people play certain actions that are constant. And for me in playoff basketball, always pay attention to how people are able to run and or defend the pick and roll, how they're able to run and or defend post-ups. Jrue Holiday was the second best person in the league guarding the person who's running a pick and roll. Now, what does that mean? He's able to fight over it and recover. He's able to go underneath and recover. But whenever the screen comes, you're not able to get him from defending the guard that has the ball. And a lot of times when Dame Lillard looks up, he's still right in front of him. He keeps his hands wide, his chest up. He plays without fouling. He's taller than Dame. He's more physical than Dame. And that level of pressure has allowed him to really have his way so far in the series.
So this series reminds me of a series from last year, and I want to get your opinion on this. Do you remember last year when the Bulls went up 2-0 on the Celtics based on the great play of Rajon Rondo? This sounds familiar to this year. Pelicans, lower seed, go in to win 2 games on the road. Now, in that series last year, Rondo got hurt, and the Celtics ended up beating the Bulls. But could we see history repeat itself in this series? Could we see the road team that lost 2 games, the home team that lost 2 games, then go on to win the series, or do you consider this one pretty much over?
Not gonna be able to do it, because I don't anticipate any injuries taking place, in particular to Rondo, Holiday, or Anthony Davis. And it also just shows you that the NBA in sports, a lot of times the transactions and or the results happen in dog years, because, wow, that was only 12 months ago, as you mentioned, and they were up 2-0, and then Rondo gets hurt, and before you know it, he's on a couple of teams later before he actually lands with the Pelicans where he's being effective.